Welcome back to the Off the Record podcast, and let's get into some breaking news. The boss returns to the podcast. I don't know it yet, but Crossfader is sending me to Coachella next year. Yay! And is DJ etiquette still a thing? Which was breaking news last week, and I forgot to get to it, which is why it's breaking news this week. Right, let's start a brand new episode 54 of the Off the Record podcast.
Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Yes, welcome back to the Off the Record podcast, and we are live on YouTube, but we're a bit earlier than usual today, and there are a couple of reasons. One, boring one, is that we have some development going on and stuff like that, loads of boring stuff. But number two, Katie is back in the building.
Hey!
Whee. And she has got to go to a Beyonce spin class very soon.
It cannot be me.
And we're hoping it's new Beyonce.
We hope.
And you all might be like pedaling to like Irreplaceable.
No, it's going to be Cuff It, and I'm ready for it.
Single ladies is happening, isn't it?
Well, probably.
Yeah, me and Jamie wasn't invited to Beyonce spin.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Got work to do.
But yeah, welcome back to the Off the Record podcast. And just a couple of talking points from this week. There was a new app that dropped this week. A new sort of cloud library system for DJs called Mixo DJ. Jamie, do you want to explain a bit more what it is?
It's basically... It's not a big team. I think there's one or two people that have come about. And there's this big thing in the industry at the moment. A lot of people are making these music management or music backup softwares. And this is one of those. And what it is if anyone remembers Record Cloud, it's kind of that, which has then switched to Lexicon.
Similar to Lexicon, yeah.
Yeah. So, but what it is, it's streamlined and simplified that process of backing up your music and then moving it between software.
Yeah.
So it's free. It's a free platform on your desktop that you can download, and then you can basically import all of your Recordbox library and then move all of your cue points and save things over to Serato, or import your Tractor library, move it to Virtual DJ, and move your saved library between these different softwares with ease. And then it's also got this added layer of you can pay a subscription and have access to their iOS and Android app. It's for iOS and Android, I should say. And you can access your full music library. So it kind of replaces iTunes or, the Apple Music service, not the streaming service, but the music app that they provided. And it kind of replaces that. And it's specifically built for DJs. So you could put all your music in Dropbox or all your music in Google Drive. The Mixo app then connects to your Dropbox or Google Drive, and then you can access it either from any desktop or from your mobile via the app. Set up cue points, all that kind of stuff, and manage your music from one central place, and then export, XML files to import into Recordbox, or export the crates to go into Serato. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what it is. We're going to deep dive a bit more on it and maybe do some video content on it soon. But yeah, we've got a blog post about it that you can read about over on wearecrossfader.co.uk.
Yeah, it's like you say, very similar to like a Lexicon, just with less features, a bit more streamlined. And also just come across on the internet as well today, a new app has come out called DJ Studio app. Now, we've not dived into it, just come across it, and it's basically like DJ AI. It's just another AI thing coming out. It's one of them things, one of them things.
I thought we agreed. Elon Musk told us to stop playing with AI.
Let's listen to Elon, because if he started it though. This is what I don't understand.
But this is what he does. He starts fights, he can't finish.
And then he flies to Mars and leaves us with the robots.
Yeah. So what is it?
It's an app. It's basically an app that you can put all your tracks in. It connects to your Recordbox. It can you put all your tracks in. It's got all your hotkeys and stuff, and it'll basically make a mix for you, and it'll add transitions in and all this kind of stuff. One of the good features about it is you can add like video files to it and send it to YouTube directly. Now, again, it's not necessarily DJ, anything like that. It might be a good way, a fun way for you to like plan a set out and see what a set might sound like.
Yeah.
What about just for like a party? If you're not a DJ,
I think that's
can put a playlist together and put it on in a party.
The most powerful thing to talk about is it goes through like millions of ideas. If you put like 50 tracks in, it will plan out the best set, so like in key, by genre, by tempo.
Good.
So to get a set list together and just kind of hear it or something like that might be good for it. But we'll do a bit more of a deep dive into it next week.
Like any of these things, it's more like a tool. Don't rely on it. Use it to your advantage. Get ideas from them for sure.
Yeah. Right. Let's get into this.
Ready drama, it's all over the place. People arguing, fighting, all up in your face. Ready drama. Ready drama.
Still can't believe that's a thing.
It's never going to get old.
I mean, I had absolutely no idea what was happening then. I just thought like Snoop was going to come out.
I mean, we're here slating AI, but that's a great use of
That's
it.
a great use of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
If you haven't heard that before, that was made by AI. It was written by AI, produced by Danny,
But
and
it's
then
the kind of thing that Snoop would actually do.
and then recorded by AI. Okay. So on Reddit today, I saw a question about DJ etiquette. So the question is, I'm in a small group of DJs in a tight scene with many partygoers. I would never play a track that my friend has dug up without asking them first. Though I don't do that because I think it's important to find my own music, though another DJ friend took a pic of my screen and the tracks that I played. Where do you fall on playing your friend's tracks? That being said, I listen to sets from other people and I don't know and try and figure out all the track IDs myself at the same time.
That's a tricky one.
It's overthinking it.
Overthinking it.
One of his friends are a bit shitty.
Yeah, like sharing's caring.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you want to have your own style, but how can you like...
A banger's a banger.
Yeah. And how can you like expand on music if you're not all sharing music together?
Like, fair enough if you were playing at the same night.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
don't take his tracks. But if
So,
he's
yeah.
not there,
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you know, if you're warming up, for example, there's a whole thing of like, you know, DJ etiquette. Like, if you're warming up, don't go out and play like the top 10 tracks out.
Yeah.
That's kind of standard and a bit common sense. So I guess he's coming from that kind of angle.
I get though, like if you're deep diving and getting music that's like, you know, finding all these hidden gems and hidden bangers that are going off in the club, and then a DJ just comes along and it's like that lazy thing of going, oh well, these are all working, I'll just take pictures of all your music and then use them in my set. There is a bit of etiquette going on there where you've got to be a bit like, well, you know.
you used to hide your screen when
Oh
you
yeah, so
played.
that's still a mode. So if
In
you're a
Serato.
Is that in Serato?
if you're a Serato user, there is an AM mode. So in your settings, there's an AM mode, and basically DJ AM used to be a famous DJ for. Was it Blink 182's DJ? It was a big DJ like A-Track, Jazzy Jeff level, and he was famous for like his own individual edits. And basically, yeah, you can tap this setting in Serato, and then unless you tap where your track information is, it won't show the track, so you can hide your tracks that way in Serato.
What I used to do is I used to kind of try and give it a few weeks, like use the track, get my reactions out of it, and then be like, yeah, I'll share it with everyone.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
fair.
I think the only way to keep your DJ set individual is creating like your own individual edits.
Yeah.
Because all the tracks, it's not like
You can't own someone else's
You don't own the
music.
music,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the producer of that music wants it to be heard.
Yeah.
And your job as a DJ is to share music.
Think
so-
how those producers must feel. They go to a
Yeah.
gig. That's why they have all these exclusive VIP edits or unreleased tracks that they play in their sets, because, you know, all the other DJs around are playing all their released music. So, you know, imagine how they must feel.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing my tunes, man.
There's not many. It's not like if you go back 10, 15 years where it was like an underground scene where,
Yeah.
you know, there's these tracks that like local producers are making and just passing around. It's not really like
It's
that
never been
kind
more
of thing.
accessible.
Yeah, people just, there's too much music now, so the more music they put out, the more music you consume and that you get to DJ as. But yeah, I think that, yeah, if somebody's taking a picture of what you're DJing, like, that's not a good DJ friend. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
all need to
overstepping a line.
You all
a
need to be
little bit.
on. You all need to be on the same page.
But it's fair enough if a track goes off and you've never heard it to be like,
What's
is
this?
this?
What's this? And then some DJ, like if it's just come out and like some DJs be like, oh yeah, not right now. Like not right now. I'll give it a couple of weeks. Let me take the shine of it. And,
And if you can say it like that with humour,
yeah.
can't just be like, no.
But here's where like your individual edits come into it and making your own. You're putting your own drums on it or creating a mashup of something or something like that. That's the only way. Or deep diving into things like we talked about Bandcamp and SoundCloud. These kind of edits that you can find. They're the ones that you're like, you kind of want to make it your mission for other DJs to be like, what is this song? You know what I mean? If you can do that.
I mean, that's why I just steal all of Danny's music.
Yeah.
Not
What's
that,
Danny?
not that
Send me
I'm then in a club playing it, but I just steal all of Danny's music.
What is that, Danny? Send me that tune. So you got me thinking, what are other kind of DJ etiquettes that still either exist or don't exist? So I've got kind of 10 here. They're all kind of generic, but are these even like still a thing? So first one, like respect the DJ equipment. Now, there was a thing on here we talked about briefly last week where we caught wind of like a group chat between like a DJs in a club where they're now having to take pictures at the end of their sets to ensure
they are little kids now.
that the equipment is still decent and looking well. So like respecting it. I mean, we've turned up to sets many times where
things are falling off, hanging off,
keyboards
not working.
just stuck.
I worked years ago in a club, and they literally had 3 different rooms with DJs in every room, and at one point they had 2 working CDJs. So there was literally like one guy be plugging into a jack, and the other 2 had a deck each. It was ridiculous.
So so people really liked your Starburst thing. We had a few messages about it.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So
Yeah,
if you didn't listen to last week, if the fader comes off, carry a packet of Starburst with you and just put like the Starburst.
Are they called something else in America?
Chewy sweets, basically. Chewy
Opal
sweets.
fruits.
Opal fruits. Did they used to be called opal fruits?
I don't know. I thought that's what they were called in America.
Sticky fruits.
The most common things though to be careful of is just don't go crazy on the faders. Like get used. I'm not saying you can't flick the fader up and down. There's some cutting techniques, but there's ways of doing it without being too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
So like that's number one.
The biggest one is like keep your drinks away from the deck. So
Yes.
you can't really do too much damage to these robust DJ systems. It's 99% of it is just liquid damage.
Yeah.
So keep the drinks behind you, or when there's people in the DJ booth, things like that. Just keep the drinks away. Like apart from that, if a Q button breaks, it's hard unless you're DJ EZ.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to really that'd be your fault. It's just wear and tear. But
here's the technique. So there's a lot of time where the play or the Q button's messed up.
Yeah.
Because it's used so much. So what I've had to do in the past, and know a lot of other DJs have had to do, is set up hot cues. Every time they load a track in, scroll to the point where you actually want to queue it up and set up a hot cue and use that button instead and keep launching it from the hot queue.
Big time.
So that's a workaround if you ever come across a CDJ that's got
I do that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do
prefer hot
that.
cue.
No, yeah. A lot of people do that. I do that. I think it becomes naturally a thing when you've turned up to enough DJ sets where stuff's not working. You just naturally find other ways of like being able to prepare your music.
And also the people in the club, like the sound tech or the manager, if you get into a club and it feels a bit sticky, it's working, but you feel like, oh, that cue button kind of maybe midway through a song, it's going to automatically cue a song because it thinks I've pressed it. If it feels a bit sticky and doesn't have the click there, let them know prior to be like, look, I'm just letting you know this doesn't feel great, this CDJ.
Yeah.
So they then know you didn't do it.
Oh yeah, absolve yourself of
Big
guilt.
time, yeah. As soon as I get in a booth, I'm like, by the way, this isn't working.
Yeah.
It's not me. By the way, we are live on YouTube. I want some questions from you guys. It is a bit earlier than usual, so if you're
Depends where you are.
To be fair, if you're from the UK and you're watching at 11 a.m, fair play. But yeah, please put your questions and let us know where you're watching from as usual. The second DJ etiquette thing is arriving on time, which is a thing which I have changed as I've got older. I was always a bit like I was always late for gigs, and that has just changed over the years. But it can just leave a sour taste in people's mouths. I think the thing is with it is because one you're self-employed as a DJ, and 2 there is kind of a narrative around DJs being late that you do get a pass at sometimes, but you've got to get like the right manager. You've got to know. Don't be turning up to your first gig late.
No, never.
Big time. And there's a thing where if you're going between gigs and things like that, it can be a bit of a thing. But there is kind of a narrative around DJing that most DJs are late for everything, basically. But I used to play into that a lot. And turn up half an hour late and things like that. And there wasn't any real reason for it, but now I would advise you not to do that, because in the
Learn from his mistakes.
in the long run you want to be known as a reliable guy.
Yeah.
Because there's DJs around sort of our circles and stuff who are very popular and they're sort of renowned for being late, but they're party guys and it is what it is. But longevity over time, they've found themselves without gigs because at the end of the day, clubs and managers just want a reliable DJ to turn up on time and do a good job.
Yep.
So that still stands.
Yeah.
Being prepared. Now, this goes across again, what we're saying about equipment not being right and things like that. Just not having, if you turn up with one USB and there's no link cable, for example, be prepared. What stuff do we need to be taking all the time?
Yeah, backup of how you're going to play music. At the end of the day, you're there to play music to a crowd. So have you got multiple sources of ways of playing that music?
Yeah.
It, like Lauren said, a link cable.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that people don't
Just
think
don't
about.
think about, and then
they either easily get misplaced, they're not connected, and if you've only got one USB stick, you need a link to go from one CDJ to the next, and then it allows you to play the USB across 2 CDJs just with one USB stick. So that's something. Also, just a second USB stick.
Second USB stick,
a
yeah.
third USB stick.
Yeah.
There's times where maybe you've accidentally ejected it, pulled the USB stick out and,
like,
and ruined it as you've updated the USB.
Yeah.
Have a backup so that when you get to the gig and you plug it in, you're not reliant on just those 2 USBs. So having those backups is essential.
Phono cables as well. I turn up to a club all the time and there's phono cables are broken, or you need to at least test if something's not wrong. Make sure it's not like a little phono cable or, you know, a standard USB cable. You know, make sure you've got a laptop stand, things like that. Spare USB cables for your laptop.
An aux cable, and then maybe some music locally stored on your phone, just like a few tracks, or even a mix. You know, something that's extended that you think, right, it's all gone tits up. I need, you know, something I can just put onto a channel while they change 2 CDJs in the club because the drinks come over them. Like, that can save the day, because you can put a mix on, played from your phone, and they can change out CDJs and do whatever, and then you're back into the game. So.
Next one is communicating with the organisers. Like Katie said, when you get in there, if something's broken, let them know that ASAP. But just general communication with like whoever you're working with, promoters and things like that, because it's a two-way street. Like, you're not just going there to get paid and DJ and, you know, be the guy, you know, be the guy like, oh, look at me. It's not really like that, you know. Everyone's it's a business, everyone's making money, and you got to make sure that the event planner's happy, you got to make sure the people in the crowd are happy. So it goes hand in hand. If you're turning up and you're like, right, I've got my set list, this is what I'm going to play, and the event planner's like, you know, can you lighten it up, or can you play a bit more house or something? You're like, no, I've only got R&B. It's like, well, if you'd have said that before you got there, you know, then that could have been sorted out. Not only that, just like afterwards as well, like, you know, how did it go? What could I do better? You know, what can we do better? Can we do some more promo for it next time? I've filmed all this content. Do you want to use this content for your socials?
Being a bit proactive,
yeah,
around like giving back to the event, the night, the promoter, the people you're working for, not just expecting to take from them all the time. If you give, you'll get. So, you 100%. Know, always remember that.
100%. Next one is a bit more like equipment, like redlining isn't headlining. Stop messaging me saying it is. But yeah, I mean, redlining.
It's a great quote.
Redlining is one of them things where, like, you know, half of the DJ industry don't care about it because, you know, you've never had the consequences of your speakers blowing up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like
Until you do.
But if you have ever worked with a sound engineer, then, you know, it's basically like having a parrot on your shoulder. Yeah. Like, they will constantly come up. I did a gig.
They can get aggressive as well.
Yeah.
They can get very aggressive about it.
Me and Jamie used to have the worst one when we used to do festivals. Oh my.
But then they punish you for it. They punish you.
Yeah.
They'll turn the main volume down.
They'll turn it down like drastically.
Stupid.
They used to do that.
They will literally come down and be like this. Like, and you're like, what is, like, help? But yeah, some of them, he was just, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to name him. But, yeah, we'd literally be like, you like play a game of like, you put it in for 2 seconds and he'd be like up, like, and just like slamming the fader down, but like drastically. I even did a gig like in Birmingham a couple of weeks ago, and it was like one of the big live show kind of things. And again, like, the boom on it wasn't very loud. So I was basically just naturally turning it up because I couldn't really hear anything. Yeah. And he came and he was like, boom, 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 twisted all. And I was like, just tell me. Just tell me I can turn it down, it's fine. Or give me a
lot of the time it comes from you wanting a louder experience in the booth. And you've got to always remember, like, if your booth monitors aren't great, like you say, you feel detached a bit from the crowd, especially if it's a big club and that sound system's pointing out at the venue. You can sound like you're almost in a separate room without booth monitors. So,
but again, it's like communicate with the club. FYI, your booth monitors are not great.
Not great. So I'm going to rag it to the top. If you want to get involved in the chat, guys, again, put your questions in and we'll get some questions. The next one is take requests within reason. I know there's some techno guys listening right now. Like, I'm not taking requests. I get that.
But that's different. If you're being booked for a techno set, you're not going to get requests. You're not expected
to get requests. No. I get that.
If you're a resident DJ, then
and not even just to, like, obviously there's a little bit of, like, you know, what the consumer wants. If you know 20 people are asking you to play some hip hop, then, you know, take the hint. But not only that, we've said it before, like, the requests can take you on a journey where you didn't expect to go, and if you can just, like, allow yourself to be, like, open to some suggestions and not be like, you know, I've been in clubs where, like, the DJs just look right through whoever's requesting. And look, if
and I have been that requester.
You know, if Karen comes up to you and she's had, you know, 3 bottles of wine, and you're like, obviously you're like, okay, sound, please leave me alone. But
Loz is talking about me 6 years ago at all of his gigs.
But, you know, it just what I say, just be open to it. Don't like go into your night being like, I'm not going to take any requests. I can tell you right now that the most boring DJ sets I've had are like when you're just disengaged and you're on your phone in between each transition and you know someone comes up, you're like, yeah, whatever. Like it's just boring, and that feeds back into like the audience experience as well. So
I think it goes back as well to just being a good human. Like, you know,
number 7, be a good human.
Don't be, you know, even if it annoys you, people are requesting stuff, you like, think it's ridiculous, but just be polite about it, because you provide an experience both on and off the dance floor through the music you play and how how you perceive, put yourself across in that environment. So even if you're just polite about it and be like, look, I appreciate the request, but this isn't really the kind of venue or night for that kind of music, if it genuinely isn't, but be polite about it. Don't be like, no, I can't play that. Just be polite.
People just might be in the wrong place.
Exactly that. They
might not know. They might be from out of town. They don't know where to go.
And vice versa. You might be getting a lot of requests, and I know this has happened in the past where the promoter or the venue manager doesn't really understand their customer. They're getting customers in there, and you're playing music to them. Go back and be like, look,
by the way,
a lot of people are asking for this kind of music, and I know you don't want me to play it, but they're asking, there's a lot of people asking it, so should we not try it and speak to your promoter and say, look, the proof is
they're not marketing. They're not marketing right.
I have a great story about that. I left one of my gigs purely down to this. They wanted me to play house for like 2 hours straight, and I was like, look, this is a crowd is like full of girls basically requesting like R&B and hip hop songs. I'm like, look, that's my go-to genre. Let me play this. So I started playing it, and he just wasn't happy. And I was like, this isn't right, because I know what they want, and you're not allowing me to play what they want, and this is what you want, so we're just not right. 2 months later, I was back in there playing hip hop. And it's like, okay,
you were not the problem.
Yeah, so listen to, as much as we should communicate with promoters need to communicate with DJs as well. The next one, and don't look at me, Katie, avoid excessive drinking. Now,
well, I have so many stories about both of you.
This isn't like don't have a drink at work. Obviously, like it's a fun job, things like that. We've talked about it before on the podcast, but again, it's that over the long period of time. It's like, don't let it become your identity, and don't let it affect you. If you're doing 4 or 5 nights a week, that's a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that is a lot.
It's finding the line though as well. That's a hard thing. Because I've had some great nights when I've had a drink.
Nights. It's great.
Great memories.
Some great DJ sets. Obviously, when you're drunk, there's
you don't overthink it as much either. Yes. The balance
like
is needed.
Danny said a few weeks ago, he used to do 4 or 5 nights a week. He used to pick one night, and that was it. And it's like, that's quite a good starting point. But when you're young and stuff, you get over hangovers quicker. I get that, all that kind of stuff. But over the long period, just don't let it become what you're known for.
And especially it's good when there's a few DJs, playing the same night, and you kind of have, it's like a team of DJs, and you're all there to support each other and help each other. But when it's just you, and you've got a bottle of vodka behind the DJ booth,
don't be that guy.
You just don't need to.
Don't be that guy.
And if that's
when bad things happen.
And that might be fuel from like boredom, which is then when you need to just go back and look at your DJ set. It's like, are you playing the same set every week? Like,
great advice.
If you can come back next week with a totally different look to your set list, I guarantee it'll just engage you more. But yeah, that's another one. A couple more. So 8, like you were saying earlier, but 8, engage with the crowd. Like, don't be dismissive of the crowd. It goes back to, again, taking requests a little bit, but again, it's just like that interactive. If you're playing a set where there's like a crowd in front of you and stuff, don't just be on your phone in between all transitions. Like, it's just like, look, shit. Like you say, people are there to have a great time.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege, to actually get to earn money by doing something you're passionate about. Like, don't forget, be humble. It is a privilege to be there.
Really?
Like, enjoy it.
Yeah. And I get it like 4 a.m. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I get that.
That's fair.
But for the majority of it, look. I always say, like, look up and like it's just engage, because you look up, you'll drop a track and you'll be like, oh, actually, they actually really like that one. Let me take a bit more risks. And it's like, oh, actually, I'm going down here. Nobody's leaving. Everyone's still dancing and stuff, and I'm enjoying it more just by getting your head up.
And hey, if you're getting bored, you can use that opportunity to think, well, I'm here, I should be getting content for myself. Challenge yourself to be like, I need to do something cool on the decks right now that I can film, and I'll try and get a good reaction out of the crowd that I can film. Challenge yourself, set yourself little challenges throughout the night. Big time.
Number 9 is my number 1 etiquette, and I'll look into the camera when I say this. All right. Clean up after yourself. This is the biggest one. Like, when you walk in and that the DJ's had a party the night before, and there's bottles and like everything, everywhere. There's even people lying around on like, clothes.
God.
It's just like the work. The last thing you want to do is walk into a set and have to clean up. Like it's just like, come on. And this is what we're saying.
Again, be a good human.
Yeah.
It's just like you can have a good time and great stuff like that, but at the end, just like help the bar staff clean up or put all your drinks on the bar. They'll deal with it. But like having like all drinks over and everything like that. Like I've turned up with like 2 USBs still in. And I'm like, I'll take them.
I mean, to be honest, there's times where I've got too drunk and I've left like my dice. We talked about the dice.
Yeah.
I've like left my dices on decks and I've got like when you're a Serato DJ and you used to have a Serato box and then like 4 cables and dices and maybe like extra things and you're like, have I packed everything away? Have I got everything? Like, have I got all my wires? Like, there's always something that you leave.
Always one
New
thing.
DJs just don't know that struggle.
Yeah. So please.
Someone said lines of coke on the turntable.
Listen, we've all been there. And the last one is just to round up. Is just like be respectful, which is like going back. This ties into everything, every one of these points. Just be respectful, be humble. We did a great YouTube piece last year with a lot of big DJs like Puffy, Pat Nazimi, SK83, and literally their overwhelming topic between Rewire as well. Their overwhelming topic would just be a good person, be a good DJ, and this goes for like resident DJs to like your superstar DJs as well. If you're good enough to work with, if people want to work with you, then you'll have a good career and longevity. Nice. Shall we go into our inbox?
Sure.
Let's do it.
We've got mail, and Katie deals with all of your emails that you message in, which are by the thousands every week, and Katie's the person. Katie and Liv.
Shout out to Liv.
Shout out to Liv. Deals with your emails, and we thought, let's get a bit of a behind the look scenes that are, what goes on
in the kind of questions we get.
The kind of questions we get.
I mean, some of them are pretty obscure.
Some of them are obscure.
Some people do think that we are pioneers in customer service.
Yeah, which is
we're
fine.
Happy to help.
We're happy to help,
but we are not.
Yeah, it's always very funny when you get like a very specific pioneer hardware question, and we get the answer, and it's like we always think, if my iPhone breaks, then who
helps me?
I don't go into like Subway and like can you help me, but we're happy to help. That's why we're here. So do you want to?
There's also a new trend where people like to send us requests for equipment. Like I had a whole thing about like
designing a piece of equipment.
They'll send me what Pioneer need to make. Like, I mean, that's a great idea, but I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Well,
we are very much at their mercy.
I tell you what, if you are watching live on YouTube, write down what controller or what piece of equipment you would make.
Everyone is going to write XZ2.
XZ2. Pioneer controller that's streaming. That's all people need.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into it.
So, one that I thought was really good this week, and I've written down what you guys said, was somebody who was talking about how he just feels really overwhelmed by the process of learning, and so he's struggling to focus, and he just kind of gets all up in his head, and then he just steps away from it and doesn't actually get anything done.
Yes.
So you guys gave some really good advice. About that.
I have a Katie for that because I'm a ideas man. So I'm very similar. I've got too many ideas, and I need someone to go, do this. So if you haven't got Katie, that's
a charge by the hour.
Yeah, and this goes to the thing of like education. People learn in different ways. Like the information to everything is out there, which doesn't mean you can learn, and that's his problem. Like if you want to learn how to DJ, you can go on YouTube for a day and it's there. But people need structure, which is where things like courses come in. There's courses for every kind of industry, and there's reasons because people like to learn linear, and you like to tick off one box and go to another.
You don't want to have to think about what's next. It's like just show me.
Show me the.
That was sort of one of the things we said. But another thing we were saying about how to kind of overcome it is researching artists to inspire you.
Right.
So that you've got an idea of like what sounds are you trying to recreate.
Yeah.
And so that you're not like overdoing it, trying to do everything. It's like, okay, I want to be like this DJ.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to just practice that style. Yeah,
it's a great point. Like picking like 3 of your most inspirational people in DJing and be like, this is it. And not being like, actually, do I need to be doing, I want to be like X DJ, but then you see a set from somebody else. You're like, actually, I don't know how to scratch. I want to learn how to scratch, and then you take it away from what you actually want to do and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for going in and replicating. Now, this is not to say you just pull someone's set, try copy it and then go play it in a club. But from a practice point of view,
Yeah,
you
you
could
should.
get the same tracks in the same order as one of your favorite DJs and then just mix them in your own way in that same order. And there's a lot to be said for that because you learn a lot from, you've already been given sort of half the challenge. And it's the same when people produce music. You'll realize a lot of music producers make covers or edits or remixes to start with before they make original songs.
If you go into like the hip hop music, there's not a hip hop song out there that doesn't start with a sample.
Yeah.
A producer sitting down with a sample of music and being like, this inspires me.
Yeah.
Now let's go.
Now let's go on a journey from this point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, when we create like mixes or content, I'll just quickly go and look at like Boiler Room or some of my favorite DJs are like DJ Puffy or SK83. I'm like, okay, I'll go look at their set. They'll do a transition. I'm like, right, now I know what I want to start with or where I want to go with it.
And also, I think a lot of people get stuck, especially when they're starting to DJ, they get stuck in this idea that there's like an end goal to a set. So they think, right, I need to plan a set to a meticulous point, and that's like a finished product. Like that's my product, and I'm going to mix it from start to finish. It's going to be perfect, and I'm going to transition at this point and at this point, and that's a perfect set. I've ticked that box. But actually, it's an ever ongoing thing is mixing, and it should never end.
This is one of the things that I don't know who it was who wrote this back. But one of the other things he said was about don't overdo it. So if you're getting overwhelmed, don't be like, right, I am going to spend an hour mixing and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, what if you just do like 2 transitions?
Yeah.
What if you just leave everything set up and you be like, right, at least 3 times this week, I'm just going to do 2 transitions.
100%.
And there's no like end goal to that. It's just giving yourself that little bite-sized window of time to be creative, because that's how all of our courses are designed, is to be like bite-sized, so it's not overwhelming. You can come and do like 2 lessons and watch them, and it can only take you 10 minutes sometimes.
A great productivity tool which I've been using this week is just start with 5 minutes. Because if you see this big thing, like, I've got to make a mix and I've got like to make a YouTube thing and all this, and you're like, oh, that sounds like a lot.
Where do you start?
Just start 5 minutes. Just set up your controller and do like 2 transitions.
Yeah.
Because once you get into it, you're like, oh, actually, like, I love this.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, all right, I'll do
another
another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's like, so when we come and film content, right, it's like, right, I need to film a week's worth of content. It's like, right, that's a lot. That's overwhelming. I don't know where to start. And I'll just come down and I'll be like, right, let me just film one short form piece of content that's 10 seconds. All right. And now I'm into the flow. My mind's thinking differently.
Close all those tabs. I should
close the tabs.
That's a rule to myself. It's like, close all those tabs.
Close
just
the
have
tabs.
one task.
One focus, 5 minutes. And if you need a structured way of learning, that's why we're here.
I think it's a great time to plug.
Crossfader, and anyone listening can obviously get a 20% discount on any of our DJ courses, including Flex 4, hip hop, house, techno, how to get gigs, XZ courses, anything like that. Just go to wearecrossfader.co.uk and use the code off the record, and you'll get 20% off any of the courses just by being a legend that listens to this podcast.
Yes.
No one else can do that. Only legends. Right, next email.
Another one that I've had a few about this week is what software to use because if you've got a Flex controller, you can use Serato or Recordbox, and a lot of beginners are like, well, which one?
Well, this is the thing. It's one of the things where it's like a good thing, but also a bad
Yes.
thing, because we know as humans that choices are bad.
We're already overwhelmed.
When you go to a restaurant, there's like 20 pages.
I hate that.
You're like,
Give me 5.
I need 5 options, and I can choose. It's a good thing because you don't really know what DJ. Again, you don't really know what DJ you want to be, so you've got that flexibility to go between software and just like navigate to one. But like you say, if your controller comes with one software, you learn that one software. It's streamlined. But in this, so it is give or take.
I kind of, as a basic rule of thumb, and it isn't just this, but I always go back to that thing of, if you want to be a DJ in clubs that plays on CDJs by Pioneer, then go with Recordbox, because that's their ecosystem. Yeah. If you're inspired by turntablists who play on turntables and do lots of
format mixing,
mashups and a lot of open format, then probably go with Serato.
Yeah.
And that's just the culture of each of those companies and brands, is they lean into that side of the industry more.
Yeah, if you're going into events, then that opens up virtual DJ and Denon, because you've got all the inbuilt streaming options and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of a starting with a why, isn't it? So again, like going back to a point before, if you pick your favorite DJs who you like, this is the reason you've bought a controller is probably you've seen a DJ set somewhere. Yeah. It's like, what is this DJ playing on, and how do I get to that point? I think that's the best way to start with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Sick.
Cool. We've had quite a lot of questions this week about laptops. So
All right.
one is about learning on a PC. Like, can you just plug a controller into a PC?
Yes.
You can.
People
You
are
can.
confused by that.
You
No,
can,
yeah,
yeah.
you can.
Yeah, we have a lot of, like, what laptop should I buy? And we're all Mac users in the office. And so we have reviewed, what is the red one behind us, Jamie? We have reviewed we could just go and look at the Crossfader laptops. And we've done it.
Google, we have Crossfader laptop.
It's got an X in
Yeah,
it. But anyway.
I can't remember.
So we're all Mac users. So again, it's one of them things where we don't give advice on stuff that we don't know inside and out. So we all use Macs and things like that. And most of the DJs you'll see out there that are laptop DJs use that. But yeah, we have write-ups on our website of the Mac of the laptops and the PCs that we suggest. But yeah, you can DJ on a PC. Absolutely.
But the thing that keeps coming up is as these softwares are getting more complicated and more powerful, especially with stems, is people aren't checking system requirements, and then their laptops are not powerful enough.
Yeah, so just like with any industry, like, there's a new laptop coming out that's 2 times faster every 6 months,
3 times more expensive.
Yeah, so what's happening is the DJ software is changing to adapt to this brand new power, and then when you re-download that software, if you've got anything older than sort of 10 years, 8 years old laptop.
I'd say less than that.
Yeah, probably. At
more
the
like
rate
5
it's
now.
growing. Then
If you're trying to use Serato with stems.
yeah, it's just that. It's just that.
This
thing
is the
of-
first time in the industry and for a while where there's something that's come about that is very power hungry, and stems is this power hungry thing that requires a lot of power to achieve.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason stems has come about is because the power has become available.
Yeah, hasn't been there.
And that's why stems haven't been in real time, 2 years ago, because the technology 2 years ago, necessarily isn't what it is now. So this is where the DJ industry is at a point where it's actually quite level with the technology that's available, the power that's available. So that is something to bear in mind. But, don't be afraid. You can turn these things off in software. If your laptop is of a lower spec, just know that you might not be able to use stems, but you can turn the stems off. You can, take it out so it's not using up your power.
But yeah, just Google it. If you're new to DJ and you've just got a controller, just Google Serato system requirements,
100%.
Recordbox system requirements. They are there. And if you email me and ask me, that's all I'm going to send you.
That's all she's going to do. Right, shall we do a game?
Yes.
Right.
Kate is very excited.
Right.
I'm very competitive.
I've got a game. I've just got to move out of the way.
People aren't watching. Jamie's just literally moved to the other side of the room.
I might
This is
disappear off the
exciting.
screen, but that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Taking no prisoners.
Because you can't see
Oh, we
the
can't.
names.
Oh
You
my
can't see the answers, can you? So,
oh, I'm so bad at this.
I'm already
right,
stressed.
so this week's game, we're alternating it all the time. And obviously, if you're watching along live, play along, put in the chat what you think. Now, this week's game is beatboxing covers.
Oh my God. It gets better. Come on.
Oh dear.
We're working our
Beatboxing.
way
Oh my
through
God.
all the strange covers and genres on this podcast.
Maybe next week I'll bring my Glockenspiel. Well, my son's Glockenspiel.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't play the
we can have a
Glockenspiel.
live game with Katie next week. That's a good idea.
That is
The
a
week
good
after,
idea.
I could bring a recorder.
Oh my God. Tune in.
Leveling up. So, I've got 10.
10.
Some are quite tricky. I will
Well,
say
yeah.
some are quite tricky.
I would have thought so.
I've tried to make quite balanced.
Have you done these beatboxes?
No.
Okay.
No.
fantastic.
Oh,
These
that
are
would be
what you would
interesting.
call professional beatboxers.
Okay.
Shout out to the beatboxers on YouTube.
Shout out
There's some
Faith
amazing
SFX.
ones. Right, let's just go.
Okay.
Come on then. Dun, 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 dun. Is it? Oh my God,
I'm so stressed.
it's. Oh my God.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Keep listening.
Oh,
Come on, come on.
Oh my God, I know it. What is it?
oh my
Wow,
God.
I need to turn it
what
off
is
because
it?
we're.
Right.
Oh my God, what is that?
Oh, come
I know,
on.
I know exactly what it is. Oh my God.
Come on, Lars, you should have this.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I know that.
Right. Come on.
Danny is upstairs absolutely
I know,
fuming at
I know.
us.
You're gonna,
Right.
You're gonna have to tell me.
Someone said Santana.
No.
It's not that one.
Do you know the break at the end of Like I Love You?
Yeah.
Just
Someone
into
said
the- it
Maria.
all's gonna sound
So
like
no,
that.
it's interesting because people said Santana, Maria.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I think what I thought
yeah,
it was.
I think that's what I thought.
Is it not Wild Thoughts?
It's Wild Thoughts.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, but obviously, bravo to
But yeah,
those who got the original sample out of it
my God.
on
Oh,
Facebook and on YouTube.
I think my brain is going into like a freeze panic response.
I think what's happened already is my brain has shut down to like the names already. Already I'm backtracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
some do have vocals that
was
come
a
in,
great
so that will
beatbox.
help you out
Okay,
on some of
give me
them.
those ones.
This next one does have vocals come in, but see how quick
Go
you
on
can
then.
get this. This should be easier.
Oh god.
Right, it's coming in.
Is it Lean On?
Not lean on.
Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
Oh,
Which one?
Shape of You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
I got half of it.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. So that one a bit easier. I thought we're gonna have a
Yeah.
bit of back and forth.
I
here.
need it to be that easy.
The next
We're
one.
we're off and running.
The next one I think's got a longer intro. We'll
Okay.
see how we get on with this one. I might have to skip into it.
Just sounds like all chords to any pop
Yeah,
song.
so it's tricky this.
Sounds like any.
Do you want me
any
to
pop
skip it a
song.
little bit?
Go on then, yeah.
It's really enjoyable actually doing this. Right. Okay. Let me skip it a bit more.
Go on then.
Right. About a minute in, I think we're
Nothing's
gonna get
changed.
we're gonna get something now.
Oh.
Oh.
Come on, come on, come on, come on! You gotta get it.
Despacito.
Yes!
God, you needed that riff, didn't you? Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was nowhere near that.
What a banger. God, remember when
Is that
Despacito
one
came out?
person?
Yeah. That's sick, by the way.
Madness.
Is that one guy?
It's one guy.
don't
Some of
That's
these,
unreal.
some of these are loop pedals.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
Some of
Okay,
these are
yeah.
loop pedals.
Oh, bring my loop pedals. Oh, just you wait.
my
So
God.
yeah, someone got The Shape of You because they're a bit behind on the live.
nice.
And then someone else said, I Got a Feeling. It wasn't that.
No.
And someone said Senorita. That was quite good.
Senorita
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, right. Are we going to go on
Yeah,
to
let's
the next
go.
one?
Time
This
is-
one, I don't know if you've both, if you'll get the name.
Oh, it's that TikTok song.
Is it? Is it?
Oh,
It's one of those ones where like, you don't know the artist because they're not a huge artist, I don't
Oh.
think. But they are. It's like big commercial track.
Oh.
it's on Spotify Kids.
Yes, it's on all the
Yeah.
Spotify Kids playlists.
I can't think of what it's called.
I have no idea what it's
Well, let's see if the live viewers. Right, yeah, someone's got it.
Have they?
What is
Yeah,
it?
Dance Monkey.
That's it.
Oh, it's Mason's favourite
I was
song,
gonna say
man.
you should know this.
Tones and I.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, we've had better boy boxes. Oh, there we go.
There you go,
Yeah,
yeah.
if we would have started with that, I'd have got that.
It sounds so weird not seeing the beatbox, just hearing it.
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
It does. It's almost less impressive.
Yeah. Right, I think Loz, this one's for you.
Come on.
Kanye West.
No. Again, this one we might have to just wait a little bit.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh, there's some
Building up
reverb
the
on that.
tension here.
Does sound like Kanye West.
Ooh.
Bass.
Some skilled beatboxers.
Yeah, they're so good, by the way.
This one's really good.
Oh no, is there a melody coming up?
There is, yeah.
Is it Travis Scott?
Right, I'm not playing
Oh,
anymore.
it's the box.
Yes.
It's the box by
Well
Roddy
done.
Ricch. Yeah.
All you need is
All
those
I need,
two
if you
notes.
just went ooh, I'd have got it.
Yeah. I'll keep playing it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Is he making that sound in his mouth? That's sick.
That's great, isn't it? It's so good.
Oh, that's the best one.
That was very good.
Right, next one.
Is this live? Oh, this is a live. Oh, not Cry Me a River, is it?
Nope.
No. It's Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
Nice, get into that one.
Yeah, let's play a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Nice.
Is he doing all of that? Is it not harmonies?
all with a looper.
That's insane.
I want to go to like a nat. So we need to find someone like.
Just finding these, I've got obsessed.
Yeah.
Nice.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Right,
really
nice.
good.
Let's see. Is anyone? No one's got those yet. Right, next one. We've got a few more.
We'll do 2 more.
Right, it's kind of like I just cut halfway into this one.
Oh, build up. Oh, next episode. Next episode.
It's yeah. It's
Next
That's the right
episode.
one.
Next episode.
Other one.
Forgot about Dre. Still Dre.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of any song, I swear.
I know that you knew what it was though.
Yeah, I win. See, this is the problem. Like being around DJs for most of my life, I don't need to know any track IDs.
You don't see the track IDs,
No,
do you?
ever.
You just hear the
I'm like,
songs.
what's this song? And you all ID it for me.
Right, we've got 3 more.
Right,
This
go
one
on
I got
then.
more for Katie, but it's got a long build up again. I might have to get to the vocal.
Okay.
Right, he's just introducing himself. Let me skip forward.
I feel really under pressure.
It's a much more chill vibe. Let's just sway, guys.
This could get weird. How deep did you dig?
Oh, okay.
Old song.
Old song.
Old song. Taking it back in time.
Taking it back.
Right, I'll skip in a bit.
Go on then, go in a bit. No idea.
Right, we'll get to some vocals.
Go
then.
to vocals. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Go on.
who sang it originally? Muse?
Don't know, but Michael
No.
Bublé sung it, didn't he?
Michael Bublé sang it.
Feeling
Who's-
good- feeling
oh,
good.
Nina
Feeling
Simone.
good.
Nina Simone.
Nina
There
Simone.
you go, yeah.
Oh, I like
Ooh,
this.
that's vibey.
It says at the start of the video, it's 5 a.m. in the morning and I haven't been to sleep yet. I'm really inspired.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So yeah, it's interesting.
I don't think I've ever heard someone cover it and do it chill.
Yeah, cool. Right.
Nice.
Vibey.
Right, two more.
Do
Two
two
more.
more.
Last 2. These are 2 very good ones
Right,
as well.
I'm ready to
This
win.
one is, you've got to think about it like, it's not exactly the same. It's almost like a remix of
I
the
can't
track.
get them when they're exactly the same.
No, but you'll
We're
get
gonna
this.
struggle.
This is a really good one. By the way, this sound is using the microphone, is flapping the microphone and changing it on the looper. Like,
Oh, right. So he's like
Interesting.
affecting the pitch as he's hitting it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
think about the melody.
Yeah. I know this already.
Keep waiting.
It's like a didgeridoo.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It's got a different swing to the drums as the original track.
What is this? Has anyone got it in the chat yet?
Well, they're like 2 minutes behind us, so.
yeah.
But
Oh.
I'm just gonna let this one keep playing.
Oh. Oh, wait a minute.
There's a point where it will give it away.
I think we need that point.
Right,
No idea.
let me go forward.
It's faster. It's faster.
It's faster, yeah. Right,
Oh.
listen.
Oh. Thriller.
it?
Not Thriller. Billy. What are the Michaels?
One of the
Billie
Michaels.
Jean.
Billie Jean, yeah,
Billie
Billie
Jean.
Jean.
Oh,
Really testing you there.
That is hard.
It's like a trappy dubstep.
Yeah.
version of
Yeah,
Thriller.
that's cool.
All right, last one.
Right,
God, I
one more.
was
We're out of time.
nowhere
aren't we? Is it Cream? Wu-Tang?
Earthquake.
Oh, Earthquake. Earthquake by Labyrinth? Yeah?
No, is it DJ?
DJ Fresh Earthquake. Yeah.
DJ
so-
Fresh and Diplo. I didn't think you'd get that one, Kate.
Not listened to that in a while. Did you know
Did we know?
that Zendaya
Ooh.
performed at Coachella. Speaking of Coachella,
Performed
she came out with Labyrinth.
singing.
Yeah,
I hate it when people are so
there
good
is
at everything.
nothing she can't do.
Why are
Sorry,
people
just
so
a quick
good at
fangirl
everything?
moment.
Do we have time for a couple of questions?
Yeah, I mean, there's not
Yeah.
loads. We've come super early on the podcast for the live. There's more. Just shout out to people.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to this person, Blake Bond, saying, I
Blake.
had a set in March. I play Happy Hardcore, and it started with like maybe 50 or so people in the room. And by the end of my set, I had the room packed wall to wall. Was super
My
happy
man.
about that.
Nice.
So
That's what it's about.
Brother,
That's what it's about.
No better feeling.
There we
that's
go.
what- yeah. I mean, that's kind of if you become like a resident DJ, that's like the natural progression of a night. Like you want to start it off slow and then have everyone bouncing.
Another one here, a question. What equipment would you recommend for streaming that's not too pricey? I mean, this is the great thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Pretty much all equipment you can stream with
Yeah.
and find a way to stream
And this
with.
is why we were saying when, is like the Flex 4, a lot of people have 400s and people are saying, is the Flex 4 an upgrade? And it is, because now you can have a mic input for your streaming purposes. So if that's something you want to get into, that's a reason to sort of get a Flex 4. But like you said, anything that's got a mic output, like Serato has a direct, it's got a setting where you can just stream direct audio from Serato into whatever streaming platform you're using as well.
Yep. This one is, hello everyone. I really wish someone were able to explain the difference between melodic, organic and progressive house. I've
Don't we all?
not once
Wait,
had anyone
what-
give me a definitive answer.
What we'll do is when Danny's back next week, we'll ask him
Organic
to tell
doesn't
you.
have any pesticides on it.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's a topic of conversation which we're going through at the minute in the office, and like the thing with genres, guys, is it's a personal thing to you. Like, don't overthink genres. Don't let it hold you back. Like, I think DJs are really scared of getting an organic techno set and then not playing an organic techno
Who is
set.
getting an organic techno set?
Some people are getting organic techno sets, but music isn't this linear in the box thing. Like,
You interpret it
just
in your own
interpret
way.
it how it is. Like, get as close as you can. If you're getting tracks from Beatport, then take it at face value. Whatever they say goes. But then
I blame Beatport for all of this.
There's tracks that are in 50 different Beatport playlists because it's just
because it's all overlapped.
it's all overlaps,
I mean-
and like there isn't this box of genres that you need to like contain. So don't overthink it.
No. And naturally, like if we were to break that down, I'd say melodic.
Yeah.
It's focusing
More
on
piano,
the melodies more.
synths,
It's the way that the
progression.
melody moves through the track, and it's more that's the
Yeah.
theme and the core focus of it.
Yeah.
Organic, I don't know.
Organic, yeah.
Progressive house though.
Yeah, progressive,
There's a
bit more-
progression throughout the
Yeah.
song. There's progression throughout the energy of the song. It's probably a
It's a bit more louder, a bit more in your face, a bit more
intense
like,
with the drums.
main stage in brackets, a bit
Yeah.
more powerful,
Yeah.
a bit more energy. But again, they'll be
But if you play,
they'll be
in a set,
melodic.
you'd
They'll be
be-
melodic
yeah.
progressive tracks. Like
But you could play both of those in a set. They're
Yeah.
not exclusive.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
This is an interesting one. So it says, love the pod. Had a silent disco set at the weekend in a local bar with a load
I've
of
only
friends.
ever done that once, and it
I
was so
love
much
it.
fun.
Now they
So
would make
funny.
it.
Do you want to explain?
Mon-
People might not know what silent disco is.
Yeah, so silent disco is when you've got a DJ and they're playing, but all the audio is being output through headphones, wireless headphones that all the crowd are wearing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could have two DJs playing
Yeah.
and they can switch between the two
Yeah.
DJs. So you've got people
I love
dancing
it.
to one style of music
Yeah.
and someone next to you dancing to a totally different style of music.
There's
And
nothing
then
funnier than taking your headphones
Yeah, everyone's
off
singing
and,
along.
and like listening to everyone. It's so funny.
hear the whole. We've done it at festivals.
Yeah,
We've got like
yeah.
1,000 people singing a chorus with no music behind it. Like,
So cool.
and then anyway, so it's going to turn into a ticket. The bar manager says, let me just look, reached out saying they want to make it a monthly ticketed event. Question incoming. I hire the
okay.
headphones and bring the gear.
All right.
Let's say 100 attend. What do you reckon you would charge?
Well, I guess it depends how much it costs you to provide it.
Yeah. So the manager wants him to provide all the stuff.
Well, he says he hires the headphones and brings his own gear. So obviously there's a cost to the headphones that you have to factor
Yeah,
into the price.
Yeah.
You just get that back. And then your own gear, put a bit on for that because, you bring in something to the venue.
Yeah.
And then it's your DJ
Then you
wage
fee
after
as well,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got to work it out from a business level. Like, how much does it cost me, and how much profit margin can I put on that? It's very simple.
Yeah.
If it costs you £1,000 for all of your upfront fees, and there's 1,000 people coming, then you can't charge $1 at £1 because
Yeah.
you won't make any money.
You've also got to factor in like how much prep time, because if you're driving around picking up equipment from here and headphones from there, you've got to factor that in because that's more of your time.
You just have to add in a profit buffer to your bottom line. It's like,
Another thing is, how confident are you in it? Can you go back if you think this is, you've brought this to the table, it's already, you feel like it's going to be a success, and you brought this idea forward, say, forget a wage. Let's do a profit split. Let's do a split. Let's go halves on this night, and let's go half and half on this night, or find a way to do it. So you, when the night's good, you earn more than a standard DJ wage, but it means that you've got to put the effort in to make sure the night's good as well.
And maybe you need proof of concept, so maybe you do it at a loss for the first one, just to prove that you can provide all the equipment, everything runs smoothly, that there's an audience that wants it. So maybe you take a loss for the first one, and then renegotiate the price for the next one.
Yeah, it sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah, invite us.
Dean's got a good question here. Any tips for matching lyrics to BPM using stems? I thought stems would be the answer to mashups. So a few things here. So from a BPM standpoint, that even if you take the instruments away, the BPM's the same. So you can match it with the beats there in your headphones and then remove all the other elements, leaving the vocal, and theoretically it should still be in time. Now then, the second side of this is vocals. If you're just setting off a vocal like an a cappella over a beat, it won't always be like we're programmed to hit play on the number one. It won't always come in on the number one. So a lot of vocals might come in, on the fourth beat of a bar or the third beat of a bar, or even on an off beat just before the new phrase comes in. So you've got to start analyzing the music and listening to the original song and listen to, okay, where does that vocal start and where does that number one strong beat hit? And you've got to practice. We cover it in our intermediate courses, I think it is, and in our transitions course, where how to really mix acapellas and mix vocals in time in that way. So, but that's what you got to think about is where does the vocal sit over the BPM? Over the beat, and does it come in on the number one? Most likely not. And then practice actually pressing play on, like, you count 1, 2, 3, play, and then it comes in. So yeah. Anyway, that's answer to that one.
Stems can be the answer.
It can.
Yeah. Unless you're using record box because they're not very good.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's podcast. Hope you got loads of value of it. Remember, guys, just for the Off the Record gang, there is 20% off all of our courses with the code Off the Record. So just go to wearecrossfader.co.uk, where we have courses for every single controller, all the DJ software, and other bits as well. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.